Love, it's one of the most powerful forces in our lives, shaping how we connect, grow, and sometimes even struggle with the people we care about most. But what if I told you that some of the most profound insights on love and relationships were written over 2,000 years ago? That's right, Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, has timeless wisdom that can help us navigate the complexities of love with clarity, resilience, and purpose. Imagine this: you're in the middle of a heated argument with someone you deeply care about. Emotions are running high, and it feels like the relationship is on the edge of breaking. Now, what if you could pause, take a step back, and approach the situation with calm and understanding? This is where Stoicism comes in. It teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, rather than being swept away by external circumstances or the emotions of others. In this video, we're diving into 25 Stoic quotes on love and relationships. These quotes from thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus offer practical guidance on how to build stronger, healthier connections with the people in your life. Whether you're navigating the ups and downs of a romantic relationship, strengthening friendships, or deepening family bonds, Stoicism provides tools to help you approach love with wisdom and grace. So, if you've ever wondered how to handle conflict with more patience, how to love without losing yourself, or how to find peace in the midst of emotional chaos, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with timeless principles that can transform the way you think about love and relationships. Let's get started. Now, turning to our first Stoic quote, let's explore the words of Epictetus: "Love, the art of living together." At its core, this quote reminds us that love is not just a feeling but a practice, an art that requires effort, patience, and mutual respect. Stoicism teaches us that the foundation of any strong relationship lies in how we choose to live alongside one another. It's about understanding that we cannot control the actions or emotions of others, but we can control how we respond, how we communicate, and how we show up in the relationship. Epictetus invites us to focus on what is within our power, our own attitudes and behaviors. When we approach love with this mindset, we create a space where mutual respect and understanding can flourish. Instead of being consumed by external conflicts or trying to change someone else, we learn to cultivate harmony by mastering ourselves. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or avoiding difficult conversations. Rather, it means approaching challenges with a calm and thoughtful demeanor, knowing that our reactions shape the quality of the relationship. Think of it this way: love is like a dance. It requires two people to move in sync, to listen to each other's rhythms, and to adjust when missteps happen. Stoicism reminds us that the art of living together is about embracing this dance with grace and intention. By focusing on what we can control, our own steps, we create a partnership built on trust, respect, and shared growth. This is the essence of Epictetus' wisdom, and it's a powerful starting point for building healthier, more fulfilling relationships. As we move forward, let's keep this idea in mind. Love is not just about the emotions we feel, but the actions we take every day to nurture the connections we hold dear. Now, turning to our second Stoic quote, let's reflect on the words of Epictetus: "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." At first glance, this might seem like a lesson about material wealth, but when we apply it to relationships, it reveals a profound truth about emotional fulfillment. True wealth in love isn't about grand gestures or constant validation. It's about finding contentment in the simplicity of connection. Epictetus reminds us that the more we desire from others, whether it's constant attention, approval, or reassurance, the more we risk creating emotional dependencies that can strain a relationship. When we tie our happiness to external sources, we give away our power and set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on cultivating inner contentment. By reducing our wants and learning to appreciate what we already have, we create a foundation of stability and gratitude within ourselves. This doesn't mean we shouldn't seek love or connection. Rather, it means approaching relationships with a sense of balance and self-sufficiency. When we're content within ourselves, we bring a healthier energy to our partnerships. We're less likely to demand perfection or place unrealistic expectations on our loved ones. Instead, we can appreciate them for who they are, flaws and all, and focus on building a bond that's rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Think of it like this: a relationship built on simplicity and contentment is like a sturdy tree. It doesn't need constant watering or elaborate care to thrive. It grows strong because its roots are deep and its needs are modest. By embracing this Stoic principle, we can create relationships that are resilient, fulfilling, and free from the weight of unnecessary desires. As we continue, let's carry this idea forward. True wealth in love comes not from what we demand, but from what we already hold within ourselves. Now turning to our third Stoic quote, let's explore the wisdom of Seneca. No man is free who is not master of himself. At its core, this quote speaks to the importance of self-discipline, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. But when we apply it to relationships, it takes on a deeper meaning. True freedom in love isn't about doing whatever we feel in the moment. It's about mastering our emotions and reactions so that we can navigate challenges with clarity and grace. Seneca reminds us that our emotions, while natural, can often lead us astray if left unchecked. How many times have we said or done something in the heat of the moment only to regret it later? In relationships, unchecked emotions can escalate small disagreements into full-blown conflicts, creating unnecessary tension and distance. But when we take the time to master ourselves, to pause, reflect, and choose our responses carefully, we create space for understanding and connection. Self-discipline in relationships means recognizing that we can't control how others act, but we can control how we respond. It's about choosing patience over anger, empathy over judgment, and kindness over defensiveness. This doesn't mean suppressing our feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it's about processing our emotions in a healthy way and communicating them effectively. When we do this, we prevent misunderstandings and build trust, fostering a deeper sense of intimacy. Think of it like this: mastering yourself in a relationship is like being the captain of a ship. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can steer the ship with skill and intention. By staying calm and focused, even in stormy seas, you ensure that you and your partner reach your destination together. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us. True freedom in love comes from mastering ourselves, so that we can show up as the best version of ourselves for those we care about. Now turning to our fourth Stoic quote, let's delve into Seneca's powerful words. He who is brave is free. At first glance, this quote might seem to speak only to physical courage, but when we apply it to love and relationships, it reveals a profound truth about emotional bravery. True freedom in love isn't just about being unafraid of external challenges. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, honest, and open with the person you care about. In relationships, vulnerability often feels like a risk. It means letting down your guard, sharing your fears, and admitting your imperfections. But Seneca reminds us that this kind of bravery is essential for true connection. When we're willing to be vulnerable, we create a space where trust can grow. Think about it. How can someone truly know and love you if you're always hiding behind a mask? Courage in love also means being honest, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about having the strength to say what needs to be said, whether it's expressing your feelings, setting boundaries, or addressing issues in the relationship. This kind of honesty can be daunting, but it's also liberating. When you're truthful with your partner, you free yourself from the weight of unspoken words and unresolved tensions. Let's take an example. Imagine a couple facing a difficult conversation about their future. One partner might feel anxious about bringing up the topic, fearing it could lead to conflict. But if they summon the courage to speak openly, they create an opportunity for understanding and growth. This bravery not only strengthens their bond but also deepens their emotional connection. Seneca's wisdom teaches us that bravery in love isn't about avoiding fear, it's about facing it head-on. When we embrace vulnerability and honesty, we unlock a deeper level of freedom and intimacy. So, as we continue, let's remember, true freedom in love comes from the courage to be fully ourselves, even when it feels risky. Now, turning to our fifth Stoic quote, let's explore Seneca's insightful words. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult. At its core, this quote speaks to the power of action and the courage to face challenges head-on. In the context of relationships, it reminds us that many of the obstacles we encounter aren't inherently insurmountable. They only seem that way because we hesitate to take the first step. Think about the moments in a relationship when fear holds us back. Maybe it's the fear of rejection, the fear of vulnerability, or even the fear of change. These fears can make even small issues feel overwhelming, creating a cycle of avoidance and stagnation. But Seneca's wisdom challenges us to break that cycle. When we dare to take initiative, whether it's addressing a misunderstanding, expressing our needs, or working through a disagreement, we often find that the difficulty begins to dissolve. Taking action in relationships requires courage, but it also builds trust and connection. For example, imagine a couple who has been avoiding a conversation about their differing life goals. The longer they wait, the more tension builds and the harder it becomes to broach the subject. But if one partner decides to take the first step and initiate the conversation, they create an opportunity for understanding and compromise. This act of bravery not only resolves the immediate conflict but also strengthens their bond by showing a willingness to face challenges together. Seneca's quote also highlights the importance of mindset. When we view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats, we shift our perspective. Instead of seeing a difficult conversation as something to dread, we can see it as a chance to deepen our connection and align our paths. This shift in thinking empowers us to act even when it feels uncomfortable. Ultimately, this Stoic principle teaches us that the key to overcoming relationship challenges lies in our willingness to dare. By taking initiative and facing our fears, we not only resolve conflicts but also create a foundation of trust, resilience, and deeper love. So, as we move forward, let's remember, the difficulties we face in relationships often shrink when we find the courage to act. Now, turning to our sixth Stoic quote, let's reflect on Seneca's profound words. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. This simple yet powerful statement offers a timeless strategy for managing emotions, especially in the heat of conflict. In relationships where emotions can run high and misunderstandings can escalate quickly, this principle becomes a vital tool for maintaining harmony and understanding. Anger often arises from a place of impulse, a reaction to something said or done in the moment. But as Seneca reminds us, the key to diffusing anger lies in taking a pause. When we delay our response, we give ourselves the space to process our emotions, reflect on the situation, and choose a more thoughtful reaction. This pause can be the difference between a heated argument and a constructive conversation. Consider a common scenario in relationships. A partner says something that feels hurtful or dismissive. The immediate reaction might be to lash out or defend oneself, but this often leads to a cycle of blame and resentment. Instead, by taking a moment to breathe and step back, we can approach the situation with clarity and empathy. This delay allows us to consider the other person's perspective, understand their intentions, and respond in a way that fosters connection rather than division. Practicing this Stoic principle requires intentionality. One practical tip is to establish a personal pause rule. For example, when you feel anger rising, commit to waiting at least 10 seconds before responding. Use this time to take deep breaths, count to 10, or even step away briefly if needed. This small delay can help you regain composure and approach the situation with a calmer mindset. Another strategy is to reframe the situation. Instead of viewing the other person's words or actions as a personal attack, try to see them as a reflection of their own emotions or struggles. This shift in perspective can reduce the intensity of your anger and open the door to a more compassionate response. Seneca's wisdom also highlights the importance of self-awareness. By recognizing the early signs of anger, such as a racing heart, clenched fists, or a raised voice, we can intervene before the emotion takes control. This awareness empowers us to choose delay over reaction, creating a healthier dynamic in our relationships. Ultimately, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Teaches us that emotional mastery begins with a pause. By embracing this principle, we not only prevent unnecessary conflicts, but also cultivate a deeper sense of patience and understanding in our relationships. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, remembering that sometimes the most powerful action is to wait. Now turning to our 7th Stoic quote, let's explore Seneca's insightful words. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This statement shines a light on a common challenge in relationships: overthinking. How often do we find ourselves caught in a web of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, creating unnecessary stress and tension? Seneca's wisdom reminds us that much of our suffering comes not from actual events, but from the stories we tell ourselves about those events. In relationships, overthinking can take many forms. We might replay a conversation in our minds, searching for hidden meanings or signs of trouble. Or we might imagine future conflicts or rejections, even when there's no evidence to support these fears. This mental habit can lead to anxiety, mistrust, and even self-sabotage as we react to imagined problems rather than the reality in front of us. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this tendency: the practice of focusing on the present moment. By grounding ourselves in what is happening right now, we can break free from the cycle of overthinking and see things as they truly are. This doesn't mean ignoring potential challenges, but rather approaching them with clarity and calm rather than fear and speculation. Consider this example. Imagine your partner seems quieter than usual. Your mind might jump to conclusions. Perhaps they're upset with you, or maybe they're losing interest in the relationship. But in reality, they could simply be tired, stressed about work, or preoccupied with something entirely unrelated. By focusing on the present moment, you can choose to ask them how they're feeling rather than assuming the worst. This simple act of presence can prevent misunderstandings and strengthen your connection. Stoicism also teaches us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. When we overthink, we often try to control outcomes that are beyond our reach, such as how someone else feels or what might happen in the future. But by redirecting our energy to what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, we can reduce unnecessary suffering and approach our relationships with greater confidence and peace. One practical way to apply this principle is through mindfulness. Take a few moments each day to pause and observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice when your mind starts to wander into hypothetical scenarios and gently bring it back to the present. This practice can help you become more aware of your thought patterns and break the habit of overthinking. Another strategy is to challenge your assumptions. When you catch yourself imagining the worst, ask yourself, is this thought based on facts, or is it just a story I'm telling myself? Often, you'll find that your fears are exaggerated or unfounded, and this realization can bring a sense of relief and clarity. Seneca's quote reminds us that our imagination can be both a source of creativity and a source of suffering. By learning to focus on the present moment and let go of unnecessary worries, we can cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, remembering that the present moment is where life truly unfolds. Now turning to our 8th Stoic quote, let's reflect on Epictetus's powerful words. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. Why would anyone willingly accept being seen as foolish or stupid? But when we dig deeper, we find a profound lesson about humility and the role it plays in personal growth and relationships. In relationships, our egos often get in the way. We want to be seen as right, as competent, as having all the answers. But this need to appear perfect can create barriers to connection and growth. When we're too focused on protecting our image, we close ourselves off to feedback, new perspectives, and opportunities to learn. Epictetus challenges us to let go of this need for approval and embrace the vulnerability of not knowing everything. Humility in this context doesn't mean thinking less of ourselves, it means thinking of ourselves less. It's about shifting our focus from how we're perceived to how we can grow and contribute to the relationship. When we're willing to admit our mistakes, ask for help, or acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, we create space for deeper understanding and collaboration. Consider this example. Imagine you and your partner are discussing a decision, and you realize you've made a mistake. Your ego might urge you to defend your position or downplay the error. But if you choose humility instead, if you say, "I was wrong and I'm sorry," you open the door to resolution and trust. This act of vulnerability can strengthen your bond and show your partner that you value the relationship more than your pride. Epictetus's quote also highlights the importance of openness in relationships. When we're willing to be seen as foolish or stupid, we're more open to learning from others. We become better listeners, more curious, and more willing to explore new ideas. This openness not only enriches our relationships but also helps us grow as individuals. One practical way to apply this principle is to practice active listening. When your partner shares their thoughts or feelings, resist the urge to interrupt or defend yourself. Instead, focus on truly understanding their perspective, even if it challenges your own. This simple act of humility can transform the way you communicate and connect. Another strategy is to embrace imperfection. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes and that growth often comes from trial and error. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you free yourself to take risks, learn, and evolve both in your relationships and in your personal life. Epictetus's wisdom reminds us that true improvement requires letting go of ego and embracing humility. By doing so, we not only become better partners but also create relationships built on trust, openness, and mutual growth. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, remembering that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to be content with being thought foolish, because it's in those moments that we truly grow. Now turning to our 9th Stoic quote, let's explore Epictetus's insightful words. No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have. At its core, this quote speaks to the power of acceptance, a concept that holds profound significance in love and relationships. In relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of wanting more attention, more affection, more perfection. We often create mental checklists of what we believe our partner should be or do, and when reality doesn't match these expectations, frustration and disappointment can follow. Epictetus reminds us that while we can't control everything we desire, we can control our desires themselves. By shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already have, we cultivate a sense of contentment that strengthens our connections. Acceptance doesn't mean settling for less or ignoring areas where growth is needed. Instead, it's about recognizing the reality of the present moment and appreciating the value it holds. When we let go of unrealistic expectations, we free ourselves from the constant cycle of dissatisfaction. This shift in mindset allows us to see our partner for who they truly are, rather than who we wish they would be. Consider this example. Imagine you've always dreamed of a partner who shares all your interests and hobbies, but in reality, your partner has their own unique passions. Instead of focusing on what's missing, acceptance allows you to celebrate the differences that make your relationship dynamic and enriching. You might even discover new interests through their perspective, deepening your bond in unexpected ways. Epictetus's quote also highlights the importance of gratitude in relationships. When we stop chasing what we don't have and start appreciating what we do, we create a foundation of positivity and mutual respect. Gratitude shifts our attention from scarcity to abundance, helping us recognize the small, meaningful moments that often go unnoticed. One practical way to apply this principle is to practice daily gratitude. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you appreciate about your partner and your relationship. It could be their kindness, their sense of humor, or even the way they make you feel supported. By focusing on these qualities, you reinforce the positive aspects of your connection and reduce the urge to dwell on unmet desires. Another strategy is to reframe your expectations. Instead of demanding perfection, focus on progress. Understand that relationships, like individuals, are works in progress. Celebrate the small steps forward and approach challenges with patience and understanding. This mindset not only reduces unnecessary pressure, but also fosters a sense of teamwork and shared growth. Epictetus's wisdom reminds us that true satisfaction in relationships comes from within. By embracing acceptance and letting go of what we can't control, we create space for deeper connection and lasting fulfillment. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, remembering that the key to happiness lies not in having everything we want, but in wanting what we already have. Now turning to our 10th Stoic quote, let's reflect on Epictetus's powerful words. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you. This quote serves as a timeless reminder of the profound impact our relationships have on our well-being and personal growth. In the context of love and relationships, it underscores the importance of surrounding ourselves with individuals who inspire, support, and encourage us to become the best versions of ourselves. Relationships are not just about companionship, they are mirrors that reflect our values, aspirations, and emotional health. When we choose to be with people who uplift us, we create an environment that fosters positivity, growth, and mutual respect. These relationships act as a source of strength, helping us navigate life's challenges with confidence and resilience. On the other hand, toxic relationships can drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and hinder our progress. Whether it's a partner who constantly criticizes, a friend who undermines our goals, or a family member who thrives on negativity, such dynamics can erode our self-esteem and stifle our potential. Epictetus's wisdom urges us to recognize the difference between relationships that build us up and those that tear us down. Consider this example. Imagine you're pursuing a personal goal, like starting a new career or adopting a healthier lifestyle. A supportive partner or friend would cheer you on, offer constructive feedback, and celebrate your progress. In contrast, a toxic individual might dismiss your efforts, sow doubt, or even sabotage your plans. The difference in these dynamics is stark, and it highlights why choosing the right company is crucial for our growth and happiness. One practical way to apply this principle is to evaluate the relationships in your life. Ask yourself, do the people around me inspire me to grow? Do they respect my boundaries and values? Do they contribute positively to my emotional well-being? If the answer is no, it may be time to reassess those connections. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting people off abruptly, but it does mean setting boundaries and prioritizing relationships that align with your growth and happiness. Another strategy is to actively seek out uplifting relationships. Surround yourself with individuals who share your values, challenge you to improve, and celebrate your successes. These connections can serve as a source of motivation and encouragement, helping you stay focused on your goals and aspirations. Epictetus's quote also reminds us that we have the power to choose who we allow into our lives. While we can't control how others behave, we can control how we respond and who we invest our time and energy in. By choosing to keep company with people who uplift us, we create a foundation of positivity and support that enriches every aspect of our lives. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, remembering that the quality of our relationships shapes the quality of our lives. By surrounding ourselves with those who uplift us, we not only enhance our own growth but also contribute to a more positive and fulfilling world. Now turning to our 11th Stoic quote, let's delve into the profound wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This quote is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, emphasizing the importance of mastering our internal world to navigate the unpredictability of life. In the context of love and relationships, it offers a powerful framework for building emotional resilience and maintaining harmony, even in the face of external challenges. Relationships, by their very nature, are filled with moments of joy, conflict, and everything in between. While we can't control how others act or what happens around us, we do have control over how we interpret and respond to these events. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our strength lies in our ability to govern our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. This internal focus is key to fostering healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Consider a common scenario in relationships, a disagreement with a partner. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, reacting impulsively or allowing frustration to take over. However, by applying Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, we can pause and reflect on our own mindset. Instead of blaming the other person or dwelling on what went wrong, we can ask ourselves, how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? What can I learn from this situation? This shift in perspective empowers us to approach conflicts with clarity and compassion, rather than anger or defensiveness. Another example is dealing with external pressures that affect relationships, such as financial stress, family expectations, or societal judgments. These challenges can feel overwhelming, but Marcus Aurelius's quote reminds us that our power lies in how we choose to perceive and handle them. By focusing on what we can control, our attitudes, actions, and responses, we can prevent external circumstances from dictating the quality of our relationships. One practical way to apply this principle is through mindfulness and self-awareness. Take time each day to reflect on your thoughts and emotions. Are you allowing external events to dictate your mood or behavior? Are you reacting impulsively, or are you responding with intention? By cultivating this awareness, you can begin to take charge of your internal world, creating a sense of calm and stability that positively impacts your relationships. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom also highlights the importance of emotional resilience. In relationships, this means being able to bounce back from setbacks, forgive mistakes, and maintain a positive outlook even when things don't go as planned. By focusing on what we can control, our own mindset and actions, we build the strength to weather any storm and nurture deeper connections with those we love. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, remembering that true strength comes from within. By mastering our minds and focusing on what we can control, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also create a foundation of resilience and harmony in our relationships. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, and it's a gift we can bring into every aspect of our lives. Now turning to our 12th Stoic quote, let's explore another profound insight from Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This powerful statement reminds us that our inner world shapes our outer reality, especially in the realm of love and relationships. Just as dye permeates fabric, our thoughts deeply influence our emotions, actions, and the quality of our connections with others. In relationships, the thoughts we nurture can either strengthen or weaken the bond we share with our partner. Negative thoughts such as jealousy, resentment, or self-doubt can create tension and distance, while positive thoughts like gratitude, compassion, and trust foster intimacy and harmony. Marcus Aurelius's quote invites us to take responsibility for the mental habits we cultivate, as they ultimately shape the tone and direction of our relationships. One practical strategy for maintaining a healthy mindset in love is to practice daily gratitude. Take a moment each day to reflect on the qualities you appreciate in your partner and the positive aspects of your relationship. This simple habit can shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, creating a sense of contentment and connection. Another effective approach is to challenge negative thought patterns. When you catch yourself dwelling on doubts or frustrations, pause and ask, is this thought serving me or my relationship? Often, we discover that our worries are based on assumptions rather than reality. By replacing these thoughts with more balanced and constructive ones, we can prevent unnecessary conflicts and nurture a more positive dynamic. Mindfulness is also a powerful tool for cultivating a healthy mindset. By staying present in the moment, we can avoid getting lost in past regrets or future anxieties. This allows us to fully engage with our partner, appreciating the beauty of the here and now. Whether it's during a meaningful conversation or a shared activity, being fully present strengthens the emotional bond and deepens the connection. Finally, Marcus Aurelius's wisdom encourages us to surround ourselves with positivity. This includes not only our thoughts but also the influences we allow into our lives. Seek out uplifting conversations, inspiring stories, and supportive friendships that reinforce a healthy mindset. By creating an environment that nourishes your soul, you'll find it easier to maintain a positive outlook in your relationship. As we reflect on this quote, let's remember that our thoughts are the brushstrokes that paint the canvas of our relationships. By choosing to cultivate positivity, gratitude, and mindfulness, we can create a vibrant and enduring masterpiece of love. This is the essence of Marcus Aurelius's teaching, and it's a practice that can transform not only our relationships but also our lives. Now turning to our 13th Stoic quote, let's delve into the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. This powerful statement cuts to the heart of what it means to lead by example, especially in the context of love and relationships. Instead of debating ideals or expecting perfection from others, Marcus Aurelius urges us to focus on embodying the virtues we value most. In relationships, this means taking responsibility for our own actions and attitudes rather than fixating on what our partner should or shouldn't do. When we strive to be kind, honest, and compassionate, we set a standard that can inspire those around us. Think about it. When you consistently show patience during disagreements or demonstrate unwavering support during tough times, you're not just improving the relationship, you're modeling the behavior you hope to see in return. Leading by example also fosters trust and respect. When your partner sees you living out the values you both cherish, it creates a sense of security and admiration. For instance, if honesty is a cornerstone of your relationship, being transparent about your feelings and actions, even when it's difficult, reinforces that trust. Over time, this mutual respect becomes the foundation for a deeper, more meaningful connection. But embodying these virtues isn't always easy. It requires self-awareness and a commitment to personal growth. Start by identifying the qualities you admire most in others, whether it's generosity, integrity, or resilience, and ask yourself how you can cultivate those traits in your own life. Small, consistent actions like expressing gratitude or offering a listening ear can have a profound impact on your relationship. Marcus Aurelius's quote also reminds us that actions speak louder than words. Instead of lecturing or criticizing, focus on being the change you wish to see. If you want more kindness in your relationship, be kind. If you value honesty, be honest. Over time, your partner is likely to mirror these behaviors, creating a positive feedback loop that strengthens your bond. Ultimately, this Stoic teaching invites us to take ownership of our role in shaping the dynamics of our relationships. By embodying the virtues we admire, we not only become better partners but also inspire those we love to grow alongside us. As we move forward, let's carry this wisdom with us, striving to be the good we wish to see in the world and in our relationships. Now turning to our 14th Stoic quote, let's explore the profound words of Marcus Aurelius. the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. At first glance, this might seem like a statement about retaliation, but in the context of relationships, it's a powerful lesson in forgiveness and emotional freedom. When someone hurts us, whether through betrayal, neglect, or harsh words, our instinct might be to respond in kind. We might feel the urge to lash out, hold a grudge, or even seek to get even. But Marcus Aurelius challenges us to take a different path. Instead of mirroring the hurtful behavior, he encourages us to rise above it. By choosing to act with integrity, kindness, and understanding, we not only break the cycle of negativity, but also reclaim our emotional well-being. Forgiveness, as this quote suggests, isn't about excusing the other person's actions or pretending the hurt never happened. It's about freeing ourselves from the weight of resentment. Holding on to grudges can feel like carrying a heavy burden. It drains our energy, clouds our judgment, and keeps us stuck in the past. When we let go, we create space for healing and growth. In relationships, this principle is especially powerful. Imagine a scenario where your partner says something hurtful in the heat of an argument. If you respond with anger or spite, the conflict escalates and the emotional distance between you grows. But if you choose to respond with calmness and compassion, you disrupt the cycle of negativity. Over time, this approach can transform the dynamic of your relationship, fostering trust and mutual respect. Forgiveness also allows us to see the bigger picture. Often, the people who hurt us are acting out of their own pain, fear, or insecurity. By choosing to respond with understanding rather than retaliation, we open the door to empathy and connection. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. It means recognizing that everyone, including ourselves, is capable of mistakes and growth. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom reminds us that true strength lies in our ability to rise above pettiness and choose a higher path. When we let go of grudges, we not only free ourselves from emotional turmoil, but also create the possibility for deeper, more meaningful relationships. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, striving to be the kind of person who responds to injury with grace and resilience. Now, turning to our 15th Stoic quote, let's reflect on the words of Marcus Aurelius. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. This quote invites us to embrace the concept of acceptance, not as resignation, but as a powerful act of aligning ourselves with the flow of life. In relationships, this means recognizing that some things are beyond our control, and that true peace comes from accepting what is rather than resisting it. Think about the people in your life, your partner, family, friends, or even colleagues. Many of these relationships were not meticulously planned or chosen by you. They are, in a sense, gifts of fate. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to approach these connections with gratitude, even when they challenge us. Every person who enters our life, whether they bring joy or difficulty, has something to teach us. By accepting them as they are, we open ourselves to deeper understanding and connection. For example, consider a relationship where you and your partner have different perspectives or habits. Instead of trying to change them or feeling frustrated by the differences, acceptance allows you to see these contrasts as opportunities for growth. Maybe their patience teaches you to slow down, or their spontaneity encourages you to embrace the unexpected. When we stop fighting against what is and start appreciating the unique qualities of those around us, we create a foundation of mutual respect and love. Acceptance also helps us navigate the inevitable challenges in relationships. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't go as planned. A job loss, a health issue, or even a simple misunderstanding can test the strength of a relationship. In these moments, Marcus Aurelius's wisdom encourages us to face reality with courage and grace. By accepting the situation and focusing on what we can control, our attitude, our actions, and our love, we can weather the storm together, emerging stronger and more connected. Gratitude plays a key role here. When we practice gratitude for the people in our lives, we shift our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Instead of dwelling on imperfections, we celebrate the beauty of shared moments, the comfort of companionship, and the lessons learned along the way. This mindset not only deepens our relationships but also enriches our own sense of fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius's words remind us that life is a tapestry woven by fate, and every thread, every person, every experience has its place. By accepting what is and loving those who share our journey, we cultivate a sense of harmony and purpose. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, embracing the people and circumstances that shape our lives with an open heart and a spirit of gratitude. Now turning to our 16th Stoic quote, let's explore the words of Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This powerful statement shifts our focus from external circumstances to internal desires, reminding us that true poverty lies not in what we lack, but in our inability to appreciate what we already have. In the context of relationships, this quote speaks volumes about the importance of contentment and gratitude. Think about how often we fall into the trap of wanting more attention, more affection, more understanding from our partners or loved ones. While it's natural to desire growth and improvement in our relationships, Seneca's wisdom warns us against letting these desires overshadow the value of what's already present. When we constantly crave more, we risk overlooking the beauty and richness of the connection we already share. Contentment in relationships doesn't mean settling for less or ignoring areas that need improvement. Instead, it's about finding balance, recognizing and appreciating the strengths of your relationship while working together to address challenges. For example, instead of focusing on what your partner doesn't do, take a moment to acknowledge what they do bring to the relationship. Maybe they're not the most expressive with words, but they show their love through acts of service or unwavering support. By shifting your perspective, you can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and fulfillment. Seneca's quote also highlights the dangers of comparison. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your relationship to others, whether it's through social media or the stories you hear from friends. But this constant comparison can lead to dissatisfaction, making you feel like your relationship is lacking. The truth is, every relationship is unique with its own strengths and challenges. When you focus on what makes your connection special rather than what it lacks compared to others, you create a foundation of contentment that strengthens your bond. Practicing contentment also means letting go of unrealistic expectations. No relationship is perfect, and no partner can fulfill every need or desire. By accepting this reality and appreciating the imperfect beauty of your relationship, you free yourself from the cycle of endless craving. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth, but rather that you approach it from a place of gratitude and love rather than dissatisfaction. Ultimately, Seneca's words remind us that happiness in relationships comes not from having everything we want, but from wanting what we already have. When we learn to appreciate the present moment and the people who share it with us, we unlock a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, embracing contentment as a pathway to stronger, more meaningful connections. Now turning to our 17th Stoic quote, let's reflect on Seneca's words. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This profound statement invites us to embrace the present moment fully, reminding us that life is not a distant future to be planned for, but a series of moments to be lived and cherished. In the context of relationships, this quote encourages us to approach each day with mindfulness and intentionality, deepening our emotional connections with those we love. Living fully in the present moment means being truly present with your partner, listening without distraction, engaging without reservation, and appreciating the small, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, thinking about tomorrow's tasks or yesterday's regrets, but Seneca's wisdom reminds us that the richness of life and love lies in the here and now. When you give your full attention to the present, you create space for deeper emotional intimacy and understanding. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully aware and engaged in the current moment, plays a crucial role in strengthening relationships. Imagine a simple moment like sharing a meal with your partner. When you're mindful, you notice the warmth in their smile, the tone of their voice, and the way they express care through small gestures. These details, often overlooked, become the building blocks of a stronger, more meaningful connection. By practicing mindfulness, you not only enhance your appreciation for your partner, but also foster a sense of gratitude for the life you share together. Seneca's quote also challenges us to let go of the past and the future, focusing instead on the opportunities each day brings. In relationships, this means releasing grudges, forgiving mistakes, and not letting future worries overshadow the joy of the present. For example, instead of dwelling on a past argument, you can choose to approach each new day as a fresh start, free from the weight of yesterday's conflicts. This mindset not only reduces tension, but also allows you to approach your relationship with a sense of renewal and optimism. Counting each day as a separate life also encourages us to prioritize what truly matters. In the hustle of daily life, it's easy to take our relationships for granted, assuming there will always be time to connect later. But Seneca's words remind us that time is precious and finite. By treating each day as a gift, you're more likely to invest in meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and acts of love that strengthen your bond. Ultimately, Seneca's advice to live fully in the present moment is a call to action, a reminder to cherish the people we love and the time we have with them. When we approach each day with mindfulness and gratitude, we not only enhance our emotional intimacy, but also create a foundation of love that endures through life's challenges. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, embracing each day as an opportunity to deepen our connections and live with purpose. Now turning to our 18th Stoic quote, let's explore the wisdom of Socrates as referenced in Stoic teachings. He who is not contented with what he has would not be contented with what he would like to have. This thought-provoking statement invites us to examine the role of contentment and gratitude in our relationships, and how dissatisfaction can quietly erode the foundation of love and connection. At its core, this quote highlights a universal truth. If we're unable to appreciate what we already have, no amount of external achievements or possessions will bring us lasting happiness. In relationships, this dissatisfaction often manifests as a constant longing for something more, whether it's a more attentive partner, a more exciting romance, or a life that feels more fulfilling. But the irony is, even if we were to achieve these desires, the underlying discontent would remain, leaving us perpetually unsatisfied. Dissatisfaction can harm relationships in subtle yet profound ways. When we focus on what's missing rather than what's present, we risk overlooking the love, care, and effort our partner brings to the relationship. This mindset can lead to resentment, frustration, and a sense of emotional distance. For example, if you're constantly wishing your partner were more affectionate, you might miss the ways they show love through acts of service or thoughtful gestures. Over time, this imbalance can create a cycle of unmet expectations and disappointment, weakening the bond between you. So, how can we cultivate gratitude and break free from this cycle? One powerful strategy is to practice daily reflection on the positive aspects of your relationship. Take a few moments each day to acknowledge what you appreciate about your partner, whether it's their sense of humor, their support during tough times, or the way they make you feel valued. By shifting your focus to what you already have, you begin to see your relationship in a new light, one filled with abundance rather than lack. Another effective approach is to express gratitude openly and regularly. Let your partner know how much you value them, not just through words but through actions. Small gestures like leaving a heartfelt note or taking the time to listen without distraction can reinforce your appreciation and deepen your connection. Gratitude has a ripple effect when you express it. You not only uplift your partner but also strengthen your own sense of fulfillment. It's also important to recognize that contentment doesn't mean settling or ignoring areas for growth. Instead, it's about finding balance, appreciating the present while working toward a shared vision for the future. This mindset allows you to approach challenges with patience and understanding rather than frustration or blame. For instance, if you and your partner are navigating a difficult phase, focusing on the strengths of your relationship can provide the resilience needed to overcome obstacles together. Ultimately, Socrates' words remind us that true contentment comes from within. By cultivating gratitude and shifting our perspective, we can transform our relationships into sources of joy and fulfillment. When we learn to appreciate what we have, we create a foundation of love that is resilient, enduring, and deeply satisfying. As we move forward, let's carry this lesson with us, embracing gratitude as a guiding principle in our journey toward stronger, more meaningful connections. Now turning to our 19th Stoic quote, let's reflect on the profound words of Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This timeless insight invites us to consider the power of our mindset in shaping not only our individual happiness, but also the quality of our relationships. At its heart, this quote reminds us that our thoughts are the foundation of our emotional experiences. In relationships, the way we think about our partner, our connection, and even ourselves can either strengthen or weaken the bond we share. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to focus on what's good, what's possible, and what's worth nurturing. For example, imagine you and your partner have a disagreement. If your thoughts are dominated by frustration or blame, the situation can quickly escalate into a conflict. But if you approach the same situation with a mindset of understanding and curiosity, asking yourself, what can I learn from this, or how can we grow through this? The dynamic shifts. Suddenly, the disagreement becomes an opportunity for deeper connection rather than a source of tension. Positive thinking also plays a crucial role in how we perceive our partner. When we focus on their strengths and the qualities we admire, we naturally feel more appreciation and love. On the other hand, dwelling on their flaws or mistakes can create distance and resentment. This doesn't mean ignoring areas for improvement, but rather balancing constructive feedback with a genuine appreciation for who they are. One practical way to cultivate a positive mindset is through daily affirmations or reflections. Take a moment each day to remind yourself of what you value in your relationship. It could be as simple as thinking, I'm grateful for the way my partner makes me laugh, or I appreciate how we support each other through tough times. These small shifts in thought can have a big impact on how you feel and how you interact with your partner. Another powerful strategy is to reframe challenges as opportunities. Instead of viewing a difficult conversation as a threat, see it as a chance to deepen your understanding of each other. When you approach problems with a mindset of growth and collaboration, you create an environment where love can thrive even in the face of adversity. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius' words remind us that our thoughts are within our control, and with that control comes the power to shape our happiness. By choosing to focus on the positive, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also create a ripple effect that strengthens our relationships. Love, after all, is as much about how we think as it is about how we feel. As we carry this wisdom forward, let's remember that the quality of our thoughts can transform not only our relationships but also our lives. By nurturing a mindset of gratitude, curiosity, and optimism, we open the door to deeper connections and a more fulfilling love. Now turning to our 20th Stoic quote, let's explore the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This powerful statement cuts to the heart of what it means to live with integrity. especially in the context of love and relationships. At its core, this quote challenges us to align our actions and words with our values. In relationships, integrity is the foundation of trust. When we act in ways that are honest and ethical, we show our partner that they can rely on us, not just in the big moments but in the everyday choices we make. Trust, once built, becomes the glue that holds a relationship together, allowing both individuals to feel safe, valued, and respected. Consider this: every time you choose to be truthful, even when it's difficult, you reinforce the trust between you and your partner. For example, if you make a mistake, owning up to it rather than hiding it demonstrates courage and respect. It shows that you value the relationship enough to prioritize honesty over convenience. On the other hand, dishonesty, even in small ways, can erode trust over time. A single lie, no matter how minor, can plant seeds of doubt that grow into larger issues. Integrity also extends to how we communicate. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that if something isn't true, we shouldn't say it. In relationships, this means avoiding gossip, exaggeration, or manipulation. It's about speaking with clarity and kindness, ensuring that our words reflect our true intentions. When we communicate honestly, we create a space where both partners feel heard and understood, fostering deeper emotional intimacy. But integrity isn't just about avoiding wrongdoing, it's also about actively doing what's right. This might mean standing up for your partner when they're not present, honoring your commitments, or making decisions that prioritize the well-being of the relationship over personal gain. These actions, though sometimes challenging, demonstrate a deep respect for your partner and the bond you share. One practical way to cultivate integrity in your relationship is to regularly reflect on your actions and words. Ask yourself, am I being true to my values? Am I treating my partner with the respect they deserve? This self-awareness can help you stay aligned with your principles, even in moments of frustration or temptation. Another key aspect is accountability. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it, apologize sincerely, and take steps to make amends. This not only repairs trust but also strengthens the relationship by showing your partner that you're committed to growth and improvement. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius' words remind us that integrity is a choice we make every day. It's about doing what's right even when no one is watching, and speaking the truth even when it's uncomfortable. In relationships, this commitment to honesty and ethical behavior builds a foundation of trust and respect that can withstand the tests of time. As we carry this wisdom forward, let's remember that integrity is not just a virtue, it's a practice. By choosing to act with honesty and authenticity, we not only honor our partner but also create a relationship grounded in mutual respect and enduring love. Now turning to our 21st Stoic quote, let's reflect on Seneca's words. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. This profound statement reminds us that challenges, though often unwelcome, have the power to shape us in ways that comfort and ease never can. In the context of relationships, this quote speaks to the transformative potential of facing hardships together. Think about it. Just as physical labor builds muscle and endurance, emotional and relational challenges can strengthen the bonds between partners. When couples navigate difficulties side by side, they develop resilience, deepen their understanding of one another, and often emerge with a stronger connection. It's not the absence of problems that defines a healthy relationship, but rather how those problems are faced and overcome. Consider a couple dealing with financial stress. At first, the pressure might create tension and frustration, but if they approach the situation as a team, communicating openly, supporting each other, and working together to find solutions, they can turn a potential source of conflict into an opportunity for growth. The shared effort to overcome the challenge can foster a sense of unity and mutual respect, reinforcing the idea that they are in this together. Another example might be navigating a major life change, such as moving to a new city or adjusting to parenthood. These transitions often come with their own set of challenges, from logistical hurdles to emotional adjustments. Yet, when partners face these changes with patience and collaboration, they not only adapt to the new circumstances, but also build a deeper sense of trust and reliance on one another. Seneca's wisdom also highlights the importance of perspective. Difficulties, while uncomfortable, are not inherently negative. They are opportunities to practice virtues like patience, perseverance, and empathy. In relationships, this means viewing challenges not as threats but as chances to grow closer and more resilient. When both partners adopt this mindset, they can approach problems with a sense of purpose and optimism, knowing that every obstacle overcome is a step toward a stronger bond. One practical way to apply this principle is to reframe how you and your partner discuss challenges. Instead of focusing on the stress or frustration, try to identify what the situation is teaching you. Ask yourselves, what can we learn from this? How can we grow together through this experience? This shift in perspective can transform difficulties into meaningful opportunities for connection. It's also important to remember that facing challenges together requires open communication and mutual support. When one partner is struggling, the other can offer encouragement and understanding, creating a safe space for vulnerability. This mutual support not only helps both individuals navigate the difficulty, but also reinforces the idea that they are a team capable of overcoming anything together. Ultimately, Seneca's quote reminds us that difficulties are not just obstacles to endure, but opportunities to grow. In relationships, the challenges we face can become the very experiences that strengthen our connection, deepen our love, and build a foundation of resilience that lasts a lifetime. As we move forward, let's carry this wisdom with us, embracing the challenges that come our way as opportunities to strengthen not only our minds but also the bonds we share with those we love. Now turning to our 22nd Stoic quote, let's explore Seneca's words. "The wise man does not grow angry, for he desires nothing that is not his own." This quote invites us to reflect on the power of emotional detachment and the role of desire in our relationships. At its core, it suggests that anger often stems from unmet expectations or desires, things we wish we had but do not. By reducing these desires, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and harmony, both within ourselves and in our connections with others. In relationships, this principle is particularly relevant. How often do we find ourselves frustrated or upset because our partner doesn't meet our expectations? Maybe we wish they were more attentive, more understanding, or more aligned with our vision of how things should be. These unmet desires can lead to resentment, conflict, and emotional turmoil. Seneca's wisdom reminds us that much of this suffering is self-inflicted, rooted in our attachment to outcomes or behaviors that are beyond our control. The key here is to shift our focus from what we want from others to what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. When we release the need for others to fulfill our desires, we free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster of unmet expectations. This doesn't mean we stop caring or striving for meaningful connections. Rather, it means we approach relationships with a sense of acceptance and gratitude for what is, rather than frustration over what isn't. For example, imagine a scenario where one partner feels neglected because the other is preoccupied with work. Instead of reacting with anger or resentment, the Stoic approach would be to examine the underlying desire, perhaps the desire for more attention or validation, and ask whether it's reasonable or within their control. By letting go of the expectation that their partner must meet this need in a specific way, they can focus on communicating their feelings calmly and finding constructive solutions together. This practice of emotional detachment also fosters greater harmony in relationships. When we stop demanding that others conform to our desires, we create space for mutual understanding and respect. We become more patient, more compassionate, and more willing to meet our partners where they are, rather than where we wish they would be. This shift in mindset can transform conflicts into opportunities for connection, as both individuals feel seen and accepted for who they are, rather than judged for who they are not. Seneca's quote also highlights the importance of self-awareness. By examining our desires and recognizing which ones are rooted in ego or unrealistic expectations, we can begin to let go of the emotional baggage that weighs us down. This process isn't about suppressing emotions, but about understanding their source and choosing how to respond. When we no longer cling to what we cannot control, we find a deeper sense of peace and contentment, both within ourselves and in our relationships. One practical way to apply this principle is to practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on what your partner isn't doing, take a moment to appreciate what they are doing. This simple shift in perspective can help you let go of unmet desires and cultivate a sense of fulfillment in the present moment. Another approach is to communicate openly about your needs without attaching expectations to the outcome. By expressing yourself honestly and without judgment, you create an environment where both partners feel safe to be themselves. Ultimately, Seneca's wisdom reminds us that true peace and harmony in relationships come from within. By reducing our desires and embracing emotional detachment, we free ourselves from the cycle of anger and frustration, allowing love and connection to flourish. As we move forward, let's carry this insight with us, striving to approach our relationships with acceptance, gratitude, and a deep understanding of what truly matters. Now turning to our 23rd Stoic quote, let's reflect on Seneca's powerful words. "He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive." At first glance, this quote might seem unrelated to love and relationships, but when we dig deeper, it reveals a profound truth about how fear can hold us back from truly living and loving fully. In relationships, fear often manifests as a reluctance to be vulnerable. We might fear rejection, judgment, or the pain of loss, and these fears can prevent us from opening our hearts completely. But Seneca's wisdom challenges us to confront these fears head-on. If we let the fear of emotional pain dictate our actions, we risk living half-heartedly, never fully experiencing the depth of connection that love has to offer. Embracing vulnerability is one of the bravest things we can do in relationships. It means showing up as our authentic selves, flaws and all, and trusting that our partner will accept us for who we are. This kind of openness requires courage, the courage to be seen, to be honest, and to risk getting hurt. But it's also the key to building deeper, more meaningful connections. Think about it, when we hold back out of fear, we create barriers between ourselves and our partners. We might avoid difficult conversations, suppress our true feelings, or put up emotional walls to protect ourselves. But these barriers don't just keep out pain, they also keep out love. By contrast, when we choose to be vulnerable, we invite our partners to do the same. This mutual openness fosters trust, intimacy, and a sense of shared humanity that strengthens the bond between two people. For example, imagine a couple facing a challenging situation, such as a disagreement about their future plan. One partner might feel afraid to express their true desires, fearing it could lead to conflict or even separation. But if they muster the courage to share their thoughts honestly, they create an opportunity for understanding and compromise. This act of vulnerability can transform a potential conflict into a moment of connection, as both partners feel seen and valued for their authentic selves. Seneca's quote also reminds us that life is fleeting and our time with those we love is precious. If we let fear hold us back, we risk missing out on the richness of these relationships. By embracing vulnerability, we not only deepen our connections but also live more fully, savoring every moment of love and connection that comes our way. One practical way to apply this principle is to practice small acts of vulnerability in your relationships. Start by sharing something personal or expressing a need you might normally keep to yourself. Notice how your partner responds and how it affects the dynamic between you. over time, these small steps can build a foundation of trust and openness that allows your relationship to thrive. Ultimately, Seneca's words remind us that living boldly and loving boldly means facing our fears and choosing to be fully present in our relationships. By embracing vulnerability, we not only enrich our connections but also honor the gift of being alive. As we move forward, let's carry this insight with us, striving to approach our relationships with courage, authenticity, and a willingness to love without holding back. Now turning to our 24th Stoic quote, let's reflect on Marcus Aurelius's thought-provoking words. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. At first, this might sound like an unusual comparison, but when we apply it to love and relationships, it reveals a profound truth about the effort and resilience required to build something meaningful and lasting. Unlike dancing, which often appears graceful and effortless, wrestling demands strength, focus, and persistence. Relationships, too, are rarely smooth and effortless. They require us to grapple with challenges, navigate conflicts, and push through difficult moments. This quote reminds us that love isn't always about the easy, joyful moment. It's also about the hard work and determination that go into maintaining a strong connection. Think about the times when relationships feel like a struggle. Maybe it's a disagreement that seems impossible to resolve, or a period of emotional distance that feels overwhelming. In these moments, it's tempting to give up or walk away. But Marcus Aurelius's wisdom encourages us to see these struggles as opportunities for growth. Just as a wrestler builds strength through practice and perseverance, we can strengthen our relationships by facing challenges head-on and working through them together. One key aspect of this wrestling is communication. Open, honest dialogue is essential for resolving conflicts and deepening understanding. It's not always easy to express our feelings or listen to our partner's perspective, especially when emotions are running high. But by committing to this effort, we create a foundation of trust and mutual respect that can withstand even the toughest challenges. Another important element is resilience. Relationships inevitably face ups and downs, and it's our ability to bounce back from setbacks that determines their longevity. This resilience comes from a willingness to adapt, forgive, and keep moving forward even when things feel difficult. It's about choosing to stay committed to the relationship even when the path ahead isn't clear. For example, consider a couple navigating a major life change, such as moving to a new city or starting a family. These transitions can be stressful and disruptive, testing the strength of their bond. But if they approach these challenges with a mindset of perseverance, working together, supporting each other, and staying focused on their shared goals, they can emerge stronger and more connected than ever. Marcus Aurelius's quote also highlights the importance of effort in maintaining intimacy and connection. Love isn't something that happens passively, it requires active participation. Small, consistent actions like showing appreciation, spending quality time together, and being attentive to each other's needs can make a big difference in keeping the relationship vibrant and fulfilling. Ultimately, this quote reminds us that the art of living and loving isn't about avoiding challenges or seeking constant ease. It's about embracing the effort and resilience required to build something meaningful. By approaching our relationships with this mindset, we can create bonds that are not only strong but also deeply rewarding. As we move forward, let's carry this insight with us, striving to approach our relationships with the same determination and perseverance that a wrestler brings to the ring. By doing so, we honor the effort that love requires and create connections that stand the test of time. Now turning to our final Stoic quote, let's explore Marcus Aurelius's powerful words, "What stands in the way becomes the way." At first glance, this might seem like a paradox, but when we apply it to love and relationships, it reveals a transformative perspective on how we handle obstacles. In relationships, challenges are inevitable. Whether it's a disagreement, a period of distance, or external pressures, these obstacles can feel like barriers to happiness. But Marcus Aurelius's wisdom invites us to see these challenges not as roadblocks but as opportunities. Instead of avoiding or resenting them, we can embrace them as part of the journey, a chance to grow, learn, and deepen our connection with our partner. Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge in a relationship. Maybe it was a misunderstanding that led to a heated argument or a life event that tested your patience and resilience. In those moments, it's easy to feel defeated or overwhelmed. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if we saw these challenges as the very path to a stronger, more meaningful bond? This quote encourages us to reframe our mindset. Instead of viewing obstacles as something to overcome, we can see them as the way forward. For example, a disagreement can become an opportunity to practice better communication and understanding. A period of distance can inspire us to reconnect on a deeper level. Even external pressures like financial stress or family conflicts can teach us how to support each other more effectively. One of the key lessons here is adaptability. Relationships thrive when both partners are willing to adapt and grow together. When we face challenges, we're forced to confront our own limitations and biases. This self-awareness can lead to personal growth, which in turn strengthens the relationship. By embracing the obstacles, we become more resilient, empathetic, and capable of navigating future challenges. Another important aspect is teamwork. Overcoming obstacles in a relationship requires collaboration. It's about working together to find solutions rather than blaming each other or retreating into isolation. When both partners approach challenges with a shared sense of purpose, they can transform even the most difficult situations into opportunities for connection and understanding. Consider a couple navigating a long-distance relationship. The physical separation can feel like a significant obstacle, but it can also become the way to build trust, communication, and emotional intimacy. By embracing the challenge, they might discover new ways to stay connected, such as regular video calls, thoughtful gestures, or shared goals for the future. Marcus Aurelius's quote also reminds us that growth often comes through struggle. Just as a muscle grows stronger through resistance, relationships can become more resilient through adversity. The challenges we face together can deepen our bond, teaching us patience, compassion, and the value of perseverance. Ultimately, this quote invites us to see obstacles not as enemies, but as allies in our journey toward deeper love and connection. By embracing the challenges that stand in our way, we transform them into stepping stones for growth and understanding. As we conclude our exploration of these 25 Stoic quotes on love and relationships, let's carry this final insight with us. Let's approach our relationships with courage, resilience, and a willingness to see every challenge as an opportunity. By doing so, we honor the wisdom of the Stoics and create connections that are not only enduring but also deeply fulfilling. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Stoic philosophy. If these insights resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more timeless wisdom to enrich your life. Until next time, take care and keep striving to live with purpose and love. Now turning to our final thoughts, let's take a moment to reflect on the 25 Stoic quotes we've explored together. Each of these timeless pieces of wisdom offers a unique perspective on love and relationships, reminding us that the principles of Stoicism are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. From learning to embrace challenges as opportunities to cultivating gratitude, self-discipline, and emotional resilience, these quotes provide a roadmap for building deeper, more meaningful connections. The Stoics teach us that love is not just a feeling but an art, a practice that requires patience, effort, and a commitment to growth. By focusing on what we can control, letting go of unrealistic expectations, and approaching relationships with courage and humility, we can create bonds that are not only enduring but also deeply fulfilling. As you go forward, I encourage you to apply these principles in your own life. Whether you're navigating a new relationship, strengthening an existing one, or reflecting on past experiences, the wisdom of the Stoics can guide you toward greater understanding and connection. I'd love to hear how these quotes have resonated with you. Share your thoughts, experiences, or favorite Stoic insights in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation and learn from each other's journeys. If you found this exploration of Stoic philosophy helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more timeless wisdom to enrich your life. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and remember, every challenge, every moment, and every relationship is an opportunity to grow. Until next time, take care and keep striving to live with purpose and love.